If you're interested in family history, country house libraries, and history in general, do consider reading my book, History of the World as Seen Through My Family Library. I've just finished this. This is the culmination of a lot of work over quite a few years, or really my hobby. Well, it starts off in the front. There's a little bit about my Heath Caldwell family ancestors. There's a little bit about the ancestral home of Linley Wood, and there's a little bit about the history of libraries. And then from there, it actually goes on into a history of the world. So the bulk of this is a history of the world from the Greeks and Romans and Egyptians, and then right the way through. The Greeks and the Romans in particular were very popular with the Georgians and the Victorians. They liked reading books in Greek and books in Latin and so forth. So there were lots of those in the library. It then carries on through to the Middle Ages. You got William the Conqueror popping up and all those sorts of guys. Then the Renaissance. And then you get into King Henry VIII's time and the Reformation, where there was a real big shake-up happening here in the UK. Lots of land changed hands very quickly. Various other things, pretty disastrous, but you could argue that it was a good shake-up, which a lot of good things came out of. Then it goes on to the age of exploration and really the age of making money. In the 1700s, that was when the UK really got going, especially the British Empire. The British Empire, lots of people think, was created by the British government, but it wasn't. It was all these young entrepreneurs who wanted to travel around the world, go to distant countries and find ways to make lots of money. And they did make serious amounts of money. It's quite incredible when you look back on it now. It wasn't just the British doing this, of course. The Spanish and the Portuguese have been doing this before the Brits. And these days, I suppose it's the Americans making lots of money, and pretty shortly the Chinese are going to be taking over, making lots of money. This is just the way history flows. This book stops in 1949. Actually, it doesn't sort of carry on with recent history. It carries on from the 1700s into the 1800s, the Victorians, a lot of the technologies that were developing at the time, anything really that was of interest to me, or where there were books in the libraries. And then it goes through World War I and World War II, which were quite devastating for everyone concerned. But economically, it was devastating for the UK because they really used up lots of the resources and lots of the young men. And of course, lots of the young men who weren't killed in World War I or World War II moved to the colonies anyway, so that had not a good effect on the UK at all. 1940s, 1950s was when a lot of these big country house libraries were sold off. People were selling country estates left, right and centre. And the Linley Wood Library was sold in 1949. Luckily for me, my grandfather actually kept a number of the books, quite a few of the diaries, letters, family portraits, bits and pieces. They all stayed in the family, which was quite great because those were the things that gave me the information to piece everything together. Also these days with auctions and the internet and so forth, various other books and portraits and diaries and so forth have turned up over the years, which has been great. So yeah, do have a look at it. It's free PDF, jjhc.info.co.uk. I have printed some hard copies. They're £25 each. On the website you'll see that you can contact me and get a hard copy if you prefer to that. I hope that's of interest. Thank you.